Professor's research, my dude, this one's on you. Hello everyone, and welcome to Meme Deck 2 Blastoise Hold on. I'm gonna save that one for later. Hello everyone, and welcome to another week of trying to take theme decks and make them better. I think for the first time ever, we have ourselves a sequel of sorts. See, I needed to wash the taste of ADP out of my mouth, which meant playing something which actually requires evolving your Pokemon, taking one prize at a time. You know, classic Pokemon stuff. And it just so happened that one of my local gaming shops got some new singles in stock, which included a buttload of stuff from Team Up, specifically the OG Charizard and Blastoise from that set's theme decks. Inspiration struck, which meant not taking the easy way out and doing a Charizard sequel. And so we have Blastoise. So this week we're going to evolve up the Blastoise theme deck one more time, focusing almost entirely on the big shellfish itself. We'll start with the Blastoise you should all be familiar with by now. This is a Stage 2 Pokemon with the powerful Squall ability, allowing you to check the top 6 cards of your deck and attach any water energies you find there to your Pokemon in any way you like. This is the deck's engine, and sadly, because you can only run 4 Squirtle, we can only afford to run this one at 2. Next up is Blastoise GX, which is another Stage 2 Pokemon. It has the ability Solid Shell, which reduces all damage taken from the opponent's attacks by 30, which is nice when paired with a healthy 240 HP. Its main attack is Rocket Splash, which for 2 water energies allows you to return water energies from your side of the field to your deck, doing 60 damage for every energy returned in that way. So pairing this with the previous Blastoise allows you to flood the field with water energies, powering this attack. The really cool thing is that you kind of create a feedback loop in that as you draw through your deck, it'll naturally be thinning, and as you return more water energy to it through Blastoise GX's attack, it becomes easier to grab those energies off of powerful Squall. It takes a few turns to get there, admittedly, but when you can, oh boy, you can deal out some serious damage. Blastoise and Piplup Tag Team GX is there to do tag team things. Mostly, it sponges damage while healing itself, and in a pinch, its GX attack can hit for upwards of 250 damage while paralyzing the opponent. Honestly, you shouldn't need to use it too much. More often than not, its main attack is just there to get water energy out of the hand where it's less useful, and also, it's a Blastoise, so I felt compelled to include it. Zacian V is here strictly as a draw engine. This deck requires on setting up multiple stage 2s, and it's really hard to do that when your hand is constantly shrinking as you burn through things like Pokemon Search, all that kind of stuff. And since you're not likely going to be attacking for the first few turns anyways, it's a handy Pokemon to have, and it's always there if you whiff a powerful Squall and need something better to do. Kyogre is there only to dig water energy out of the discard pile in an emergency, or more likely to act as a punching bag while you evolve up your Squirtles. And finally, Oranguru is here to help stack the deck for powerful Squall. You can swap the top card of your deck with a card from your hand, which often means putting at least 1 energy on top to accelerate out onto the field with powerful Squall. It can also help you save rare candies in a pinch, which is super important. And speaking of rare candies, these are the lifeblood of the deck. If you don't get these early enough, you lose. If you can, you really want to hit 2 in 1 turn to evolve up multiple Squirtles into the different kinds of Blastoise and get your combo going. Our support lineup is a little different. We have the holy trinity of Research, Marnie, and Boss to do what they do best, but we also rock Erika's Hospitality as a way to dig a little deeper into the deck without disrupting our own hand or discarding something important. I also have a few Rosas, which let you grab a Pokemon, a trainer, and an energy from your deck if one of your Pokemon was KO'd last turn. It's a great way to replace a Blastoise in a pinch, or just nab a much needed rare candy. Training Court is a bog standard in water decks by now, courtesy of Torrential. We really need energy in the deck or on the field, so this can often help manage that pretty well, grabbing one back maybe and putting it back on top with Oranguru. Likewise, we run 2 ordinary rods to help recover evolution pieces, mostly, but also to stack the deck with 2 more water energies for powerful Squall to hit. And that about does it. Yes, it's kind of a meme deck, and it has no place in a world where Pikarom is still dropping thick thunderbolts on everything, but if you're just playing for fun, then yeah, it's kind of awesome. So let's jump into some games and See how we do? Okay, first up, we've got some serious Kanto nostalgia baiting as we run up against the Leon Charizard deck. Right out of the gate, it should be said that even though we have the type advantage, it doesn't really mean much because my attackers and my opponents can deal such massive damage that type doesn't really become a factor here. No, instead the game essentially comes down to a game of chicken. See, Charizard and Blastoise are both engines and attackers, and in the case of my deck, if I lose a powerful Squall Blastoise early on, then my opponent can probably just sweep my board because Charizard can hit upwards of 330 damage, easily cleaning up even my Blastoise GX. And said Blastoise GX won't be able to attack because we can't really accelerate energy out with powerful Squall. So basically, I need to make sure that I only take the first KO if it means handicapping their ability to easily replace their Charizard. So tempting as it is to rush in and flatten their Jirachi, I have to hold off, also praying that they don't get a boss's orders in the meantime. Thanks to Zacian V, I'm able to draw into a lot of combo pieces, and when my opponent finally loses their patience, they take the first KO on my active Oranguru, which means that Blastoise can come in for the revenge KO. Now, from this point onward, there's a very good chance that it's going to devolve into a game of KO and counter KO, so I have to be extremely aggressive here and try to deny my opponent any chances of re-establishing a Charizard. And that's pretty much how it goes. I gust up and take out another Charmander, forcing my opponent into an awkward rear guard defense with Eldegoss V of all things. And strangely enough, my opponent actually had the chance to take out my Blastoise with that Eldegoss, but obviously taking it off the field seemed too risky to them, and so it was that Blastoise eventually rolled over Charizard, proving who the superior Gen 1 reptile is. But that's totally up to debate. Please don't blame me. Next up, it's the one prize wonder, Excadrill. And I'll be honest, I kind of have to give it to Wassy Boy here because this is a fantastic single prize deck. Now, things actually get off to a slow start, which is better for me than for my opponent. Basically, this game will be lost if my opponent gets an Excadrill rolling and starts punching holes in my team, which is the whole point of the deck. The only things I have on my side are the fact that Excadrill can't take an instant KO on any of my Blastoise without pre-existing damage. And since Excadrill discards cards whenever it attacks, I can, in theory, run my opponent out of resources. However, things don't start off that well. Kyogre goes down pretty quickly thanks to the quick attachment of a Vitality Band, and while I am able to get a double Blastoise setup, I quickly discover the chink in my own armor. See, the baby Blastoise can OHKO an Excadrill, and normally, even with a Vitality Band attached, Excadrill can't OHKO back. Except, Blastoise damages itself when it attacks, and that damage puts it into KO range for an Excadrill. And this comes up pretty quickly, which threatens to allow my opponent to snowball the game out of control. Luckily, I have a backup plan, or rather, an extremely solid shell to hide behind. Blastoise GX and its wonderful ability turns Excadrill's main attack into a 3-hit KO, which means that if I can maintain my combo, I can basically grind the game out. And that's essentially how the game goes. Things did look a little grim when my opponent got down to one remaining prize, even managing to take out a Blastoise GX in the process, but to get Excadrill's all-powerful attack setup, that basically meant my opponent had to discard the rest of their deck. And so the game came down to a point where, without a boss in hand and no way to quickly grind through to get another, my opponent finds himself staring at a fresh Blastoise GX without another card to draw, and unable to take the OHKO. And so, before I can even charge up another attack to try and take my last 3 prizes, my opponent realizes the game is over and concedes. And that'll about wrap it up for this week. While I don't think that this is necessarily a better upgrade than the first deck, it is a lot more fun because Mo Blastoise. But in all seriousness, it was actually a fun experiment to mix in the single prizer with the GX. I really enjoyed the contrasting mechanics and decisions I had to make. Like, do I prioritize energy acceleration or raw power? When was it beneficial to go in heavy or hang back and take it slow? Like, that's the kind of gameplay I really enjoy. And yes, before you guys ask, this is enough Blastoise for long enough. I hope you all enjoyed this week's episode. Please like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I've been pleasantly surprised by the recent jump in subs. I was over the moon when the channel hit 100, and we're nearly at 150 already, which is kind of nuts. I know it's just a bunch of numbers in the creator studio, but man, I gotta tell you, nothing motivates you like coming back every week and finding more people who enjoy what you're doing. And I'm getting sappy again, so I'm gonna shut up and get back to work on the next episode. Oh, and one last thing. I've noticed that the Pokemon sealed only trend is catching on, and we've got 2 brand new channels to welcome to the community. Go and check out TCG Tay and Gonlaren TCG, both of whom have kicked off their sealed only journeys with the Zacian League battle deck. Links to both their channels are in the description below, and hey, if you're thinking of starting a sealed only challenge of your own, just go for it. We're all rooting for you. And that should, finally, wrap things up for now. So I will see you all next time, and until then, take it easy.